Hello everybody and welcome back to Newegg TV. I'm Steve and today joining us in the studio we have representatives from WD's marketing as well as their engineering department. We have Steve and Paul. Hello guys, how are you?
Great.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for coming in, by the way. We always appreciate that. And
My pleasure.
I see hardware. I see naked hardware and I'm excited about it. What can you guys tell me about this? It looks like a NAS, but I feel like I'm being fooled by that.
Well, we're very excited about this too. This is our new product that we launched in the October timeframe. And we launched it in the market for three primary reasons. One, we knew that people were really looking for what we call a first server opportunity. So these were small businesses, work group settings that don't even have a server, don't have a very easy way to back up their PCs.
Right.
They don't have a good way to get file sharing. They needed that IT infrastructure.
Right.
So the first server opportunity is very big right now. Secondly, there are people that need to replace their old IT infrastructure, like small business server, and so people are looking to take their old infrastructure and migrate it to something that's a lot more powerful and robust.
Right.
And of course, we have that in this product. And third and finally, the primary reason is there are more and more people that are looking for cloud services when they're adopting new technology. And of course, with this product, we've seamlessly integrated some great cloud services that we'll be showing you in a little bit.
Fantastic. Well, since the hardware is shown and I'm excited to hear more about it, what are you guys using? What's the brain behind it? How much RAM you got in it? What are our options with this thing?
There are a lot of options. First, I want to talk about when we look at it, if you've noticed the small form factor. In fact, we have it in our name, ultra compact storage plus server. This was designed primarily so that people could fit this anywhere in any kind of environment. So some of these small businesses don't even have rack mount closets in the back, and they need to sit right in front of everyone, right in the office space.
Right on
and
the
of
desk.
course, you have one sitting next to you, and you probably can't hear it, and that's by design.
It's completely silent, by the way. I'm in front of the fan right now. This is probably the most audible it'll ever get on the microphone. I can barely hear it. So I'm very impressed, guys. Please continue.
We also put the horsepower in here with an Intel Xeon-based processor and system architecture. And so what you have here is dual-core and quad-core models that we have with the DS5100 and DS6100. And unlike the other products that you've seen on the market, this is a server, so it has boot drives. So this model here has two boot drives put in there. You guys can see to the left and the right. It comes with 2.5 inch boot drives where the OS is stored, along with the main 4 data drives. So you guys can see that it looks like a NAS, but it has the power of a server architecture and platform.
Are the two boot drives, are those in an array?
Yes.
That's right. They're mirrored RAID 1 for when we have the 2 boot drives, and we have 2 boot drives on the step-up model, and on the DS5100 and the DS6100. So the 5100 has 1 boot drive. The DS6100 has the 2 boot drives.
Could I essentially buy an additional one and then mirror it myself?
Actually, when you plug it in, it'll auto RAID 1.
Oh, nice.
So it'll take care of that. It was designed to make sure that the OS that resides on there is protected, and also with the new OS, you're also looking at a better performance with the OS residing on a dedicated boot drive and the data being mainlined here. So what you see is actually a converged infrastructure. You're looking at both a server and a storage with everything in mind, so that the small business doesn't have to think about doing both. When they deploy a first server, they can deploy their applications and deploy their storage all at the same time.
I want to ask you another question, actually, and I'm curious, because obviously memory is important. How much RAM are you guys storing on the 5100 and the 6100 for these systems?
Right, the DS5100 comes with 8 GB of ECC RAM, and the DS6100 comes with 16 GB of ECC RAM we made these products serviceable, so the maximum can actually be 32 gigabyte VCC RAM.
So really we're talking about an upgradable server, very small form factor, very quiet. Right. That's awesome. And and 2 arrays, right? You have one for storage and one for the OS.
Right, correct.
So, excellent. What's the maximum amount of storage we can throw on this?
It's up to 16 terabytes.
16 terabytes. Impressive, you guys.
And you can have RAID 0, 1, 5, or 10.
Right, and you can also use a thing called Windows storage spaces as well.
Okay.
Carrying over from our storage history, of course, we have the ease of use slide for the hard drives here. So you're not looking at screws. If there's something that should go wrong in the storage, you're actually able to pop it in and out.
Very easily.
Yeah, very easily.
Hot swappable, I'm assuming.
Hot swappable,
too, right?
yes.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
So talk a little bit about redundancy to me, because it's a server. It needs to be redundant. You talked to me about, RAID 1, so if the OS goes bad, you can just bring it down, pop in another drive. So what are we looking at in terms of connectivity and redundancy?
So you got the resiliency for the hard drives itself. We also have dual Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet in the back. We also have dual power option. The DS6100 actually ships with 2 power adapters.
Oh, excellent. I was going to ask you about that. Okay.
For a high-end server. We also have 4 USB 3.0 for your expansion, and then 2 USB 2.0s and a VGA for your keyboarded monitor should you be doing setup or doing more complex IT functions.
That's fantastic. I noticed maybe another Ethernet port there too. What's that for?
Okay, this port is what they call an IPMI port.
Okay.
And about a couple of weeks we're going to be releasing a software patch so you can actually do out-of-band management for your server. If you're familiar with high-low and some of the other tools that use IPMI, this will be available on this server. So not only do you have a unit you can start with in a small business, but as you grow and you patch this product into other management tools, folks like VARs and resellers and the community that manage multiple servers, you're actually able to get into the unit, even at the boot level. So then you're not even looking at the OS level.
And if you take a look at the front, you'll see we have a locking mechanism, the front bezel lock here with 2 locks for physical security. And then if you scroll up here, you'll see the LCD display. Now this LCD display is for system health status, critical alerts, software updates. You can, of course it's blinking right now because there's no Ethernet connected to it, but you can see you've got your IP address, and there's lots of good information that the user can see right away from the LCD.
There's no place
display.
like home. Sorry, networking jokes. Okay. All right, so this one's up and running. Is there any way we can take a look at the operating system? Actually, speaking of that, are you guys running Windows 2012?
No, actually we're running Windows Server 2012 R2. This is the Essentials family that we have by default, and this is the very latest server operating system that Microsoft has released.
That's fantastic. Yeah, let's take a closer look. All right, so we had to shuffle around a little bit here just so I could see the screen that Paul's going to be working with, but Paul, go ahead and take it away.
Right, sure. What we've done is we actually remoted into my server where I work in Irvine.
Oh, nice.
Right, and the first thing you should notice is it is a Windows Server product after all. It's a desktop, and so from here you can actually install all your applications that you're used to.
Nice.
But for a deeper dive into the features.
So yeah, Paul's going to go over the dashboard that we wanted to show everybody. This redesigned dashboard has various tabs on the top, so we thought we would run through those tabs and give you a quick description of each one of those.
Fantastic.
So the Home tab provides a broad set of administrative actions. And Paul, are you on the you're on the Home tab now?
Yeah.
Right, great. And so what it provides is it provides shortcuts to tasks for setting up and managing the server environment, for connecting to various messaging services, or installing add-ins.
So on the setup screen, obviously it's a nice checklist for you to enable different features in the product. Being WD, we actually created an extra tab here called Set Up Your Drive. That doesn't come native, and so because we're converged server plus storage, you definitely want to set up your drive.
Absolutely.
So very quickly, what that launches is actually, If you decide to select on RAID, you can actually use the detailed RAID utility. There is also a feature for storage spaces.
Okay, so you can access and create logical drives as well as access your arrays and create them.
Yep. Windows Storage Spaces is a software virtualization of your disk. All right.
Very cool.
So then we've got the Users tab, and that allows you to manage up to 25 user accounts. So several actions can be performed on individual user accounts, such as changing the shared folders they have access to and defining what level of remote access they each have.
So let me show that really quick.
Yes,
you can
please.
see that Adam has a read-write access in the company folder and the engineering folder. And so we can turn him from read-only to read-write very quickly. And some other things you should notice is it allows you to manage your user group. And because we've integrated this, this server to things like Office 365, you actually can add their account here.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, as you get more cloud services added on, 365 being one of them, you can basically enable them via the user screen as well.
Microsoft Online is their code word for that. Anywhere Access is another tab, and it just keeps going. Email, etc.
Excellent.
So the Devices tab allows you to view the health and backup status of computers on the network, as well as configured backups for the server and client computers.
It tells you this PC here is offline, but it has done a setup for the backup status, and it gives you a feel for whether you have your security protected there and all the other alerts. This itself is its management of its own self as a server, and you can see I have an update status. I've turned off Windows Update, and it's telling me that I need to enable that to get the latest features.
Excellent.
Then you've got the Storage tab, which allows you to manage the server's shared folders and physical hard drives.
So as you create these end up being your company folders. And what's really good about this product, if you start with the first deployment, you may change a year down the line, maybe 2 years down the line. And so it's very easy to move a volume, for example. So let's take a look at let's move the folder.
Okay.
As we move engineering, it'll auto-discover what other volumes you have available. And in fact, I have a volume mounted as an iSCSI, so it's a DX4000, another product out there. But let's go ahead and take a simple move. You see it moves it along, enables a shadow copy. And you notice that all the user rights, let's look at the folder property here. All the user sharing access migrated along with it. You don't have to move the folder, then figure out whether your users' read-write access are different. These all get moved along to the new volume.
Fantastic.
So it's easy to get organized, manage users, and manage storage. All right.
Great. And then you've got the Applications tab, which allows you to discover and manage add-ins. One particular add-in is the Microsoft Pinpoint sub-tab that Paul can share with you.
Yep. So what we're showing is really Microsoft's version of their business application store. So Microsoft Windows is obviously one of the biggest platforms for business software, and so you can see a lot of these partners have been put in there, and these are the most used ones. You can also download other products from the Microsoft Pinpoint website, and then when you click on add-ins, they will actually show up here.
And add the modules in.
Add the modules in, yes,
Nice.
absolutely.
Okay.
And the
Go ahead. And
the
then-
last contribution, this is actually WD's own monitor tab. It is itself an add-in, but
Nice.
we've built it into the product so that you can see the temperature, and activity, and health of the product.
Nice.
So the health of the unit is a significant amount of work that W put in custom to make sure that we drive the performance that you get over time, reliable, and making sure that it's quiet and cool like you have sitting to your left here with this unit.
Perfect. Can you scroll down a little bit? I just want to see
sure.
if there's anything else in there. Nice.
So, yep, it tells you got a healthy RAID, and also you got a boot drive.
So it's got the smart monitoring built in right there.
Yep. What I've done here is I've actually pulled out one of my my boot drives, and you can see that it has a degraded RAID. So it tells you that something's changed in the system as you go along. If I
Excellent.
plug something back in, it'll be connected again.
So you're remotely, checking on the system, realize, okay, call up Doug. Doug, you're gonna have to throw in another 320 in there because it's degraded right now, or
Right.
at least it's been disconnected for whatever reason.
Correct.
So Perfect, especially for those IT support staff out there that are doing a lot of this work from multiple offices. They don't want to have to physically be there necessarily, and you can tell a lot just from your monitoring tab exactly what might need to be done, right?
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
Nice job, guys.
Right.
All right, so really common thing people are going to want to do with their service is back it up. Can you walk us through kind of how easy that would be here?
Sure. Actually, when you go to the Home tab, one of the first things you can do is actually set up your server backup.
Okay.
What this does is actually create a backup local on this product itself. So I've already set that up. When you click on this,
Sure.
as it's loading the data, you can see that it's just a wizard-based setup. And then on the Devices tab, when that's done, you can actually see that this server has backed itself up successfully. So it's really important to click on the WD edition of setting up your drive first, and then you can actually back up your own server and boot OS to another drive.
Okay.
Just taking care of the entire server. The next backup feature that's included with this product is backing up your local PC and client. And so what we have here is a test bank PC one,
Nice.
and he's actually installed himself by getting on and using the connector tool.
Okay.
And it'll automatically set up a lot of things like domain join, etc. And one of the things that's also pulled in there is backup. You can actually drive a backup from this server to the PC manually, or you can set the schedule here on this server for all your users' devices. And that's up to 50 devices with the R2 Essentials license.
So essentially, by forcing it, it's maybe the user isn't around, maybe they're out of the office, something to that effect, or they're just absent-minded, and it's time for a backup. You can just say, you know what, you have to back up now, or maybe even set it up to automatically do it every 3 days or every week or so. Is that right?
Right. I actually can start backup for the computer manually. I can also do customized backup for the computer and other great tasks.
Excellent. All right, well that actually leads me to something else I wanted to ask you. Does this have any kind of use case where we can use Microsoft Exchange maybe, or something to that effect?
Right, yes, absolutely. On the home tab again, the next tab down after you set up your server is a tab called Services. And you actually can integrate with Office 365 or the Exchange server.
Oh.
And most businesses will choose one or the other, but as you grow larger, you may have a bit of mixed case. So I've actually previously integrated with Office 365, and I've also deployed an Exchange server because my business is larger. And what that looks like is on the User tab, you actually get deployed an email address here and a mailbox through the integration. And so this server serves as the primary Active Directory server that the Exchange depends on, and it'll actually deploy users as needed. You get yourself an email.
Wow.
But I've also have, let's say Stuart here, our friend in the UK, our sales person in the UK, he may not have a local address because he's not local here, and so we've given him an Office 365 account.
Excellent.
Right.
All right, so clearly you can remote access, and it wouldn't be much of a server you couldn't, and I'm watching you use it. It seems to be really seamless. What else can you tell me about R2 and what's great about it, basically?
Oh, well, with the 2012 R2 Essentials and the WD product put together, you actually have the ability to deploy what we call a private cloud. There's a feature here in the server called Anywhere Access, and when that's set up, you actually, let me take you to a client. If you have a regular client that's attached to the internet, you're actually able to open the browser and do a thing called Remote Web Access or Anywhere Access.
Okay.
And so let me log in here and show you what that looks like. This is great. You're on the road somewhere and you need to use the product. You actually log in with the same password you have when you're on the network. So.
Perfect.
So you don't have to keep remembering different passwords for different access. And you're
Yeah,
actually
good old
logging
Microsoft.
in. Yeah, you're logging in directly into your product here. If you actually wanted to run your PC, there's a way to remote desktop right here by clicking on Test PC 1. You're actually also able to get to your shared folders, the company folders, and your own. And if your device can handle downloads, this is a PC obviously, but if it's another device, a tablet or a phone, that can handle an image, you can actually download things and use it.
Excellent. It's very clean.
So this forms what we call a private cloud, if you will. You have 16 terabytes of data on the WD Sentinel up to that, and you can access it, interact with it, run applications from the Anywhere Access application.
So let's say I'm a dentist's office, right? I've got a lot of personal information, and I'm not really comfortable with the cloud. How is this hybrid cloud supposed to help me?
Well, this one here is your private cloud because it's going directly to the box. But as you mentioned, the hybrid cloud, there is integration into Office 365. That's possible, and we've done that in the services area before. And even though I can't manage Office 365 because I'm managing the Exchange server, what this looks like on the cloud is this is the sign in to Office 365, and just like you saw with the private cloud, I'm going to use the same password I had before. You get all this accessibility. I'm using an Office 365 basic account. There's a lot more features, for example, Office Online, doing Excel, PowerPoint, etc. You can do all the productivity things, email, site document sharing, IM meetings and conference, and mobile access. And from we actually manage them centrally from the WD Sentinel S series. So if Stuart should leave, we just have to remove him from the Sentinel, and all his data and all his cloud-based stuff is also either stored or removed, depending on your selection and your choice.
Depending on how you set it up?
Yep.
Excellent.
So with all these software features, a business has a flexibility to actually do things in a traditional IT manner, or look at a private cloud, or deploy a hybrid cloud.
Fantastic. That's great news. Well, thank you for that demo, Paul. I really appreciate it. That's very interesting.
Thank you.
No problem. And any closing thoughts you want to leave us with, Steve?
Yes, we definitely want to summarize. What we talk about when we mention this product, how it's proven, reliable, and affordable. Okay. It's proven in the sense that it's uses the latest Windows Server OS. You know, it has Xeon, Intel Xeon class processors, and of course it's built and designed by WD with WD hard drives.
Excellent.
It's reliable. We talk about reliability with regards to the redundancy. So we have gigabit Ethernet redundancy. We've got the boot drives. We have dual power supply ports as well. And of course the boot drives are mirrored in RAID 1. So we've got a lot of redundancy here. We've got physical security with the Kensington lock and the key lock and the front bezel as well.
And all these features are expected for a small business. Reliable, almost as reliable as your enterprise class products.
Ah.
Yeah.
And finally, it's affordable. You know, a lot of these companies are looking for a device that's not going to break their budget. A lot of these small businesses, and this has world-class warranty and support as well. And we want to talk about the different models as well. When we talk about the affordability, there's step-up options. So we start with the DS5100 and we step up to the DS6100. Some of the differences are on the DS5100, it uses the Intel dual-core processor, and then we step that up on the DS6100 to quad-core.
And they're both Xeon processors.
They're both Xeon processors. We've got 8 gigs of memory on the DS5100. We step up to 16 gig of memory on the DS6100, and that can be further upgraded up to 32 gigabytes of memory.
On both models, no less.
On both models.
That's ECC RAM.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we've got the boot drives that we discussed with regards to the reliability. We've got a 1 boot drive on the 5100 and 2 boot drives on the DS6100 that's in RAID 1 mirrored.
Perfect.
And as I mentioned earlier, the DS6100 actually comes with 2 power adapters. Again, a cornerstone to your business. If you need that kind of horsepower, you expect the power to be there as well.
That's right. And obviously, I want to mention too, the warranty. What kind of warranty can users expect for something like this?
You get a 1-year warranty for parts, and the other thing that you get out of this product is the special concierge line. So
nice.
WD encourages you to call for all the Sentinel family a special concierge line that will diagnose your issues. And then we also include the Guardian Services Pro 1 year for free. And that gives you express parts replacement, trying to get to 12 hours to 24 hours within limited regions, of
That's
course.
fantastic, you guys. That's great support you guys always provide for all of your products. And Paul, I want to thank you again for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Steve,
you.
you as well.
Thank
you,
you,
sir. And thank you guys also for watching. Don't forget, you can subscribe to any of our various YouTube channels to watch videos just like these, and we will see you very soon.